Hi, this is Lisa.
And this is Laura, and we're the Material Girlfriends, back with another video.
We're now ready for Block E. So Block E is all about flying geese, and the first ones that we're going to make is 4 at a time. So you're going to cut 1 5.5-inch square in the brown, and then you're going to have 4 2 7/8 squares for the flying geese wings. So the body is the brown, and the wings will be the blue. So you're going to draw a diagonal line corner to corner on the blue fabric. Now, Laura, where's that ruler, the OmniGrid?
Well, let me see.
It's put away, of course. I like drawing a line just down the center, but Laura likes using this cool little tool. It is 1/2 inch wide, but it has a line down the center, so it has a 1/4 inch on each side. So then you just line up your ruler corner to corner and you can draw your seam line. So it makes it a little easier to follow your lines if your 1/4 inch seam foot or your guide's a little iffy. So you're going to place 2 of the light blue squares right sides together, and you're going to align and pin. It will overlap in the center. Then you're going to sew right on those drawn lines, or if you drew one line, 1/4 inch from each side. And then after they're sewn and it looks like this, you're going to cut it once on the diagonal. You want to do that quick cut, Lo? That was too short.
Yeah.
There we go. Oops. Dropping some rulers. Alrighty. Here we go. Now we're going to press these so that they look kind of like hearts.
You think, oh my goodness, how's that going to work? It looks messed up already.
It's going to work, I promise. So give this a quick press.
All right.
And then we're going to position the next 2 blue ones.
All right, here's the first one.
So we're going to line it up at the corner so it's perfectly aligned. And you see where the pencil line is actually meeting right at this right angle here. So this is the trick in order to get your flying geese to turn out really nice and that it doesn't turn out wonky. As you pin it, so it's first alignment. Once it's nicely aligned, you're going to sew on this drawn line or 1/4 inch from each side of that center line. Your stitch should start and end right at that intersection there, right at that. Let me bring it up a little closer. So right there. See where that 90-degree angle is? Your stitch should start there and end it here. Or if you're starting here, end it there. But that will give you a really good end for your flying geese.
All right, let's sew those seams.
All right, our seam ended right at that V, so that looks pretty good. We're going to do a quick check. That looks like a lovely flying geese, and do you see how that goes nice and straight? And we'll have the other one on this side. That lines up beautifully too. So we're going to go ahead and give that a quick cut. And then I'll go ahead and press those seams, and look how nice that has turned out. So I'm just then snip off the dog ears, and these 2 will be ready to go. How did that one turn out, Laura?
Well, one side turned out great, but the other side, this side here, you can see when I fold it over, I've got a little lip, and the reason is I did not draw my little sew, so my ruler must have wiggled as I was drawing on that. So I'm just going to seam rip that just a little bit, put in use my 1/4 inch foot, and then get a much better seam on that one.
Yeah, so that what you can see, the seam didn't quite make it to that 90-degree, and so when it folds over, you can see that that's going to be uneven. So we're going to go ahead and fix that before cutting it.
I did that on purpose. So
oh, that's right. That's right. We needed a sample for that. Good thing we're professionals. There, that looks really good. We have 4 flying geese, 4 at a time, which is a great method if you want all of your flying geese to look the same. Now this next one that we're going to make, we're making flying geese one at a time because they're going to be a little different. So you're going to be cutting a rectangle out of this beautiful sand color. So you're going to
turn it over.
Yeah, there's your beautiful sand color. It's a 2.5 by 4.5 inches, and you're also going to have 4 2.5 light blue squares and 4 2.5 inch cream color squares. Now, if you're looking at the diagram, you're going to lay out your.
Right here.
So there's your diagram here. So you're going to draw a pencil line, just like your diagram, corner to corner. I'll rotate it there. And then you're going to align your pencil, following your pencil line, onto your rectangle, right sides together. Now with this lovely batik, we couldn't find a wrong side, so keeps us from seam ripping when you don't have a wrong side to really nice batiks. So once we have it aligned, we'll stick a pin in it and we're going to sew right on the diagonal.
So I'm going to put a pin in there. All right. And then I'm going to sew on that line, fold it back to addition, then trim it away and press. Then we'll be ready for that blue piece.
All right, so now that it has been folded over, pressed, we trimmed off that extra fabric, it's now ready for the next piece to be added. So that the blue is, again, follow your line and you lay it just like the diagram from the lower corner to the middle. Make sure it's all nice and lined up at the 90-degree angle. This should overlap. So you're looking to overlap it. That intersection right there where that pencil line is to the seam should be 1/4 inch. So once we're happy with the alignment, we'll stick a pin in it and we'll sew right on that line. All right, now we have the blue piece sewn on. We trimmed that extra fabric away, and so it should measure 2.5 inches. And we'll do that with the other ones. And so we're going to have 4 identical flying geese. All right. So we've got our flying geese. Well, we have some flying south and some flying north, but they won't be for long. They'll be flying in a circle. So you're going to take 2 of your flying geese. We're going to slide these over. And then we're going to sew these 2 together. Let me get them both flying north.
Here we go.
There you go. Just like our diagram here. We have... you're going to have the light one on the top and the dark brown on the bottom. And we're just going to sew those 2 together. We're going to align it end to end and then sew it just like that. And we'll do it to all 4 of them. They'll all be identical. So when you're aligning this, just pin your ends and your other end, and then ease any differences. Because you'll always want to line up with your point, and we have a point in the corner with the flying geese. And a point at the other end with the flying geese.
And the tip.
And then we have the tip. So when you're sewing it, be sure the tan piece is on the bottom. So as you're sewing, you're going to aim just in front of this intersection, not on it or past it, but just in front, which should measure 1/4 inch, but you know, that would only be in a perfect quilter's world. Look how pretty those are.
They're so pretty.
Aren't they nice? So when you're pressing, we're going to be pressing away the seam away from the brown. Now, if I had a point that sometimes, you know, if it was a little bit too close, depending, I would sacrifice my pressing instructions to get the good point. I just do. I'd rather have a twisted seam in the back.
Well,
but all of these
quilters. So
you actually are doing really well, Laura, and there really isn't anything we needed to round it off. So if I needed, we could have just rolled that point over, but I prefer having a little extra space, because then you lose space in quilting anyway. So
Well, and if you want to join my Close Enough Club, just contact me.
you actually have to be part of the Close Enough Club, or else this stops being fun. So now you're going to arrange your blocks like the diagram. So we're just going to rotate these. Just like that. Isn't that pretty?
That's
So we're going to sew the top 2 together, and then we're going to sew the bottom 2 together. Press the seam in opposite directions, and then sew the top to the bottom.
Let's do it.
That looks great. I love it. So let's do the next one.